If this went dark tomorrow, no apps, no assistants, no autocomplete, how much of your thinking would still be yours? November 2022, ChatGPT is released, and it's an instant hit. 1 million users in its first 5 days, and 100 million in the ensuing 2 months. I was hooked. It felt like magic. I'd type in a question, and within seconds, I'd get a perfect answer. It became my go to, replacing Google almost overnight. No more endless articles, no more tabs. But I didn't stop there. As AI got smarter, it went being my textbook to my tutor. And now, it's like the kid who somehow does the whole group assignment. Using it became a no-brainer. It felt like my productivity was skyrocketing, and each new version of the model gave me even better responses. It had me wondering, was I becoming Rohan 2.0, a smarter, faster version of myself? Or was there something else hidden in the cracks that I couldn't see? I found the answer this past summer at a particle physics lab at Yale. I was working on predicting the relationship between a subatomic particle's momentum and the angle of light it produces. I'd been staring at simulations for hours, chasing numbers that refused to add up. Then, just when I thought I could finally shut my laptop, the program spat out results that made no sense at all. My head was heavy, my patience gone. Then, almost on autopilot, my fingers started typing the problem into ChatGPT. Within a few seconds, it gave me a clean, polished answer. A few lines of code I had overlooked. I plugged them in. The simulation worked. Problem solved. But the next day, my research advisor reviewed the code and asked me, so, what was the underlying flaw in your original logic? And I froze. I had the right answer, but I couldn't explain the why behind it. The AI hadn't just given me a solution, it had robbed me of the discovery. I had the fix, but I had zero insight. That was the thing in the cracks. I wasn't becoming Rohan 2.0. I was trading away the struggle. And in the process, I was trading away the learning itself. That took me back to the squash court, the place where I first learned the difference between merely performing a task and truly understanding it. For years, that was my world. My coach would drill me for hours. Rohan, feet here, rack it up, follow through. It was pure repetition. I spent my 10,000 hours turning my strokes into a machine. But practice is predictable. A real match is chaos. Against most players, instinct carried me. But against the best in the world, the ones who varied pace, disguised their shots, or switched angles, I'd falter. My reflexes were sharp, but I couldn't adjust. I knew the moves, but my brain was just static. And that's when I learned there's a framework to understand this from the psychologist Daniel Kahneman. He calls them systems 1 and 2. System 1 is what delivers the product, the finished thing, like an email, a line of code, or in my case, a perfect squash swing. It's fast, instinctive, and automatic. It's the part had already mastered. But System 2 is what runs the process. It's the deep, messy thinking behind it. It's slow, deliberate, and analytical. It's what forms hypotheses, weighs trade-offs, and strategizes when the script breaks down. And mine was dangerously out of practice. I had the product, but not the process. The reflexes, but not the reasoning. And this is the exact trap we face with AI today. When we copy-paste a polished answer from ChatGPT, we're letting the algorithm do the strategic thinking for us. We're robbing our System 2 of the practice it needs to do its most critical task, challenging our own easy answers. When System 2 becomes lazy, we're not just settling for quick answers, we're slipping into mediocrity. Just like the squash games where I couldn't adjust when the playbook ran out. So the real question is this. In a world where AI can deliver the product, how do we train the process? How do we exercise our System 2 before it withers away? We have to start by accepting a crucial fact. Our capacity for strategic thinking isn't static. It's a muscle. And like any muscle, it doesn't grow by accident. We have to intentionally take our System 2 to the gym. Every hard problem we face is another rep, another opportunity to build muscle. It's all governed by one simple, unforgiving rule. Use it or lose it. So how do we make sure we're getting our reps in? I adopted a new framework. I now run my life like its own little company. Let's call it Rohan Inc., with me as the CEO. A CEO delegates the easy tasks. Take that simulation I was working on at Yale. I could hand off, summarize the latest research papers. Done. But the System 2 thinking, the real thinking, is mine. Like, which of these ideas is a breakthrough worth betting on? That call, that rep, stays with me. That's what builds the muscle. And it's how I keep my job as CEO. And the consequences of giving away that job are already becoming clear. It's not just about losing a skill. It's about losing a sense of ownership. One study found that people who used AI to write essays often struggled to quote their own work correctly. They felt no connection to it. I know that feeling. When I let AI do the heavy lifting for me, I don't walk away sharper. I walk away detached. This is more than just a personal habit. It scales. AI is our generation's nuclear moment. Think back to the 1940s. When humans split the atom, we unlocked two possibilities: the utopia of clean energy or the dystopia of weapons of mass destruction. Same science, two radically different futures. But nuclear was in the hands of a few governments. AI is in the hands of all of us. Every student, every leader, every single person in this room. And that means the choices won't just be made by tech companies or policymakers in some faraway capital. It will be made in the tiny, micro, everyday decisions of how you and I choose to use it. Which brings us back to where I began. If this went dark tomorrow, no apps, no assistants, no autocomplete, how much of your thinking would still be yours? That question isn't about technology. It's about agency, about whether we stay the authors of our own thoughts. And that brings us to a fork in the road, perhaps one of the most important forks for humanity. Down one road, we end up here, a perfect, polished echo of an algorithm feeds the words into our mouth until we can distinguish between its voice and our own. The danger isn't the giant robot in the picture. It's the slow, quiet fading of our own thoughts. A snowballing dystopia of dependency. On the other, AI doesn't just become a force multiplier. It opens entirely new terrain. It expands the map of what's possible, triggering exponential growth and creating a world of abundance we've never known. A growing utopia. AI is not going away. The tools will only get better. But the real question isn't whether they can think. It's what we still do. So tomorrow, when you reach for ChatGPT, ask yourself one question. Am I talking to an employee? Or am I appointing the new CEO? Thank you.